Hey there, it is Tomster here on the behalf of Indie Structural Productions once again, after a very long time, but it is that time of the year again where we kind of look back and see what happened in this otherwise completely horrible of a year. Hopefully next year will be a little bit better. But what I'm here to do is kind of go through everything that happened this year. This year was so far one of the biggest years for IP and the things that I do. It has been insane and incredible to see how the channel has grown and how in general the whole, my Luthery business type portion has grown a lot since as well. Now, usually monthly updates and stuff like that, I usually post those on the very last day of the month. So right off the bat, I'm just going to say that there's no point in me actually putting this out on the 31st because nobody in their right minds is probably going to be watching this. So this is coming out a little before that, and I'm filming this way in advance before even Christmas. So I hope you guys had a pleasant holiday and got a bunch of guitar-related presents and or woodworking presents or Luthery presents, Luthery tools, stuff like that. Anywho, I'm getting already sidetracked from the whole main point, which is wrapping up what happened this year. And because it is the end of the year and my memory is kind of poor, I'm going to cheat a little bit and see what went down this year. One of the very first projects this year was the putting a new fretboard into the 5-string bass with new pearl inlays. And that was equal parts terrifying. Ta-da! And lots of fun. In the end, ended up refinishing the entire bass to be matte black or satin black. Can't remember which. Yeah, it turned out really, really cool. That was one of the first sort of projects to kind of finish up that year, but the new project that I started at the start of the year was the Celeste 2.0, which is something I've been meaning to do for, 5 years at least with that plan. There we have it, folks. Here it is, Celeste 2.0. And that guitar was so much fun to make. It was the first fully built guitar that I made at the current workshop I'm working at, and the first one that was kind of not a prototype anymore. And it went off without a hitch. And I gifted that one to my uncle, and he was pretty speechless. And it was so cool to kind of see that because, like I said, I've been planning to do that for a very, very long time, and I was so happy that it worked out because, yeah, that was a lot of fun. Moving on, I'm kind of skimming here. Streams were still something I was learning at the beginning of the year, and in February when I posted a little half jokingly posted a little comment that kind of snowballed, which was on Matt Heafy's stream.
Hook it up, IP. What you got? What kind of guitars you make, IP?
I posted that I commented that maybe he should get a guitar from me. And that's where the idea started.
Let's check out IP's stuff. Got you, IP. Oh, from Finland. Wait, IP, are you the one that made us that guitar that we have with the Vengeance Falls carving? I am the one who made that. I know your work. Your work's fantastic. I don't want to make you ship something from Finland. It's going to cost a lot of money for you.
Yeah, February-ish, when he confirmed that he was going to have the Daedalus. And then everything started to kind of snowball from there. I released a new shirt design, this one that I'm wearing right here. And along with that, a merch store. Finally, something that I could have a bit more hands-on with. And you can still buy these shirts at Uno Mas Collection. There is a link in the description for a shirt for yourself. But that was something that I was really happy with, and I've been really happy with the quality of the shirts. They have been top notch. Along with working on the Celeste and then working on the 4 stock instruments, which one of them was the MKH Daedalus, I decided to upgrade my Wrath prototype as a personal guitar for myself. The Wrath upgrade. So this is basically what I worked on quite a bit throughout the month. First and foremost, I sanded a little bit more, put new oil on it. This has a new jack socket, new electronics, Fishman Fluence Moderns, new backplate, new headstock plate, and newly engraved logo, bone nut, and locking tuners. Stuff like that. Just made it into something that, because I've never really, personally, I haven't had a high budget guitar, or hell, I haven't even had a medium budget guitar at any point for myself. So I decided to then, instead of just having a guitar gathering dust, I would go ahead and just make it for myself, make it to my spec, and upgrade it so that I would be happy to, well, have a little bit more higher quality instrument in my arsenal. This year has also been a kind of year where I've started to get proper tools for myself. Finally, I know, right? 10 years in and I'm finally getting myself, it's 10? Yeah, almost 10 years in and I'm finally getting myself proper tools. Got myself the Triton spindle sander, which I can't believe I hadn't gotten before. I got myself new Radian cutter bits, which I also can't believe I haven't gotten before. Got myself a Shinto saw rasp, among with other tools that I have been really needing but just haven't gotten for myself. So that has been pretty cool as well. But one of the things that I keep on saying, one of the biggest things, because this year has been insane. There's been huge things happening. The channel has grown. We've surpassed 1,000 subscribers at the end of last year. We went 1.5K pretty quick after that. 2K hit that, and at the time of filming this, we are so close to hitting 2.5K subscribers, and if we've already reached that benchmark by the end of this year, I am blown away. Seriously, you guys are amazing, especially considering that there's been a kind of lull with content, which I'll get into in a little bit. But anyway, one of the really big things that has probably affected IP business-wise in a very positive sense is I released my website. Finally, IP Guitars has a website, and if we type in ipguitars.com, hit enter, we're greeted with a welcome page. The IP Guitars official website is finally here. There's all the details that you need to know about what goes on into the process and into making the guitars that I make. It made me feel like, personally, I started to feel like I'm finally doing something right. It's a very small thing for a lot of people, but to me, it's like now I'm set on this path that I've been kind of going towards for a very long time, and now I'm finally at the point where people might start taking me seriously, because oddly enough, that hasn't really been the case beforehand. There was the unfortunate Sugar Skull inlay for the 7-string, which, you know, by all accounts, it was going really well up until I put it in the fretboard, and now it still needs a little bit of work. So that's something that's coming up next year for me to kind of finish up. Another case of like actually feeling a little bit more legitimate with what I do was getting into a business partnership with a Finnish pickup maker, Kangas Pickups. Now, that was pretty big for me. endorsing a pickup brand and really having faith in the project, or product, I should say. But unfortunately, at the moment of filming this, a couple of months prior, Ganges has shut down business. So that was unfortunate, but I am so happy that I actually managed to work with Carlo for a little bit of time and send one of his products, a pickup set, to Matt to Florida. That's something that I feel very happy about. And the other set that I got from him, the Ratchet set, I put those in my personal guitar, the Grape. But I'll talk about that in a little bit. I also started processing down woods for my wood stock. I have now salvaged a good pile of wood, and now I have ended up having a wide stock of flamed birch tops for upcoming builds, and that's a lot of fun, because those are boards that my grandfather had and were just lying around in the garage, and I decided to salvage them and see what I can make out of them, and they turned out to be very flamey, so I'm glad to kind of use up some of the woods that my grandfather had left over, which this was brought, or the topic was brought up in a stream where someone was saying that it's nice that I'm keeping up a sort of legacy of using my grandfather's old tools and woods, and the veneers, the curly birch veneers, those are all his. Most of the tools that I use, those are his, or hand tools, I should say. And then every single brass nut. I have brass nuts, like blanks for brass nuts for ages onwards. I mean, I'm probably not going to be able to actually use all of them in my own lifetime. There's so much of it. But in keeping with that, I think it's pretty cool that I can keep that kind of his woodworking spirit, so to speak, keep that going. So that's a really nice thing for me. Somewhere around the summer, June-ish, I also on stream designed the first multi-scale production IP guitar, which is going to be coming out next year, and I'm going to be talking about that in a little while. Then there was the thing that completely killed me, which was trying to finish up 4 guitars in one single sitting, live streaming. So I did a stream day on Twitch, and there were so many issues, so many problems, which ended up with, I think it boiled down to 3 days of streams, at the end of which I had finished or demoed through all 4 guitars and finished up the MKH guitar, and the next day, I believe, or something like that, I got it shipped out to Matt. And that, like, I got the guitar out to Matt in August, and I still can't believe it. Like, seriously, that has been, it's been insane. That is something that I didn't expect to really ever be able to, grasp onto, to even, like, have the opportunity to do that. So I have to thank Matt wholeheartedly and the entire Trivium Twitch community, because they have been so supportive throughout the entire process. And the guitar did get there. It had a little bit of an issue, so I needed to go to the guitar tech, and Matt managed to demo it one day before he headed out on tour.
All right, everybody, check this out. My good friend IP Guitars from this channel, who is a guitar builder, you can get guitars from him, built me this guitar and shipped it from Finland. IP worked his dang butt off on this guitar. IP, thank you so much, my friend. Let's hear how this bad boy sounds. Damn. Looks good, feels good. Damn, IP. I am impressed. This thing really sings in the leads, doesn't it?
I got to see it live, and just when I was watching it, a lot of it was a complete blur. I was shaking. He was asking me questions. I was typing, and I'm pretty sure that like a lot of things that I was saying in the chat just didn't make sense because I couldn't make sense of the situation. It was insane. That's been one of the personal highlights of my entire career, is the fact that now Matt Heafy, who is a musician that really helped develop my music taste back as a teenager, and is a guitar player, vocalist, and songwriter that I really admire and look up to. He has one of my guitars that I've built from scratch for him. And yeah, I don't know what else I can say about that. I'm just really, really happy about it. Pretty much after that entire thing, as many might have noticed, I need to now go look at my YouTube videos, but as many probably noticed who follow along to my channel, my videos, in general, my socials, I pretty much burned myself out, almost burned myself out. And I had my vacation in August, and then I never really I tried to get the ball rolling again, make more content. But with how YouTube is and how it works, I was just constantly being, kicked down by the algorithms and stuff like that. It's like I'll put a lot of effort into making a really nice video, like personally think really nice video, then it gets no views, nobody sees it, nobody notices it, and then something that I just quickly try and make, that gets a lot of views. And yeah, it affected the way I looked at things quite a bit and caused me to kind of take a step back and focus on just slowly building back up and getting my energy back up to come back with full force next year. I tried to, for the majority of the year, what I did was I had the monthly updates at the end of the month. I had weekly build videos on Sundays, and I had a stream on one stream day and then a VOD day. And I used to, at the very beginning of the month, I had questions, like short little FAQ type things going up, I don't know how many times, 2 times a week or something like that, and then a stream. That was a lot of content to be putting out there, and I don't regret it. It was a lot of fun, but definitely wore me down toward the end of the year when the weather gets dark and energy is low already to begin with. Looking back here, there's been quite big of a gap with things. I started demoing my own music stuff on Twitch and then putting out the VODs on YouTube, but that's not really what the channel is about. So I stopped doing that. As much fun as it was, I did the Gongas pickups unboxing tones comparison video. I put out the full master edit of me building the guitar for Matt, which again was made possible with the help of some Trivium fans and Xenogen, who let me use their music for the video. And some people wrote music for the video, and that was also it opened up a whole new world for me. And I'm hoping to actually possibly continue collaborating with these people in the future. Then there was the quick and dirty video of me upgrading the Grape, which got a fair bit of views, but the one that I wished would have gotten a lot of views was me working or processing down and book matching guitar tops, the Flame Birch top that I mentioned earlier.
There we go. Oh my goodness. Look at that. That's gonna be gorgeous. As we're coming towards the end, you want to keep that slow pace. I know you want to kind of rush because you're getting to the end of it. That's taking a book my guitar.
That I put a lot of effort into, but nobody really noticed. So that kind of boils up to this year. Another thing that I mentioned in the previous video that I posted, which was a little monthly update thing, was I switched day jobs. So getting back into a sort of new groove of the new day job, having a little bit more time to do things, a little more energy to do things. I'm looking forward to how things are going to start moving or rolling, moving forwards. There has been a super big, super secret, super project in the works that I still can't talk about. Next month, I will be able to. Probably next month. I'll say probably next month. And that is kind of a two-part thing. The first part is done, and the second part is now in the works. And as soon as I can talk about that, I will. But it is huge. It's one of the biggest things that has happened for IP, like, as a company. And yeah, this bodes very well for next year. I have already closed down my books up until the fall of 2022 because, well, there's a lot to do. So let us talk about next year. What I want to do with the videos made of the 4 production guitars, so the first batch, so to speak, I want to make that as in-depth, big tutorial type series where I really knuckle down on the very small details of literally processing down your wood all the way to the entire finished guitar, putting things together. And I'm hoping to make a sort of like course, online course out of it. That's the idea, that's the goal, but I will try. Then when it comes to guitars that are going to be finished next year, there's the 7-string with the Sugar Skull inlay. There's the second part of the super secret super project. There is the Yamaha customization, which I took apart in the stream. Then there is, I have mentioned, and I'm making it official now if I haven't made it already, there is going to be the first prototype of the IP multi-scale guitar coming out next year. Not going to be headless. It's going to have a head because headless isn't my thing. Not yet anyways. Going to make a new neck for, now having said that, sounds funny, new neck for Johnny's 5-string headless bass because the LED's fried in it, so I'm going to go at it in a completely different way. Then there's going to be, because next year is going to be 10 years since I started on this IP journey. So I'm going to be doing a 10-year anniversary of the very first guitar that got this whole ball rolling, which is the quote-unquote signature LP Westone customization, or customized LP style guitar. You can go check the video series up there. Let's see, there's another project that is sort of secret as well. That's going to be fun, but can't talk about that yet because it's been in the works since the beginning of the year actually, but hasn't progressed. So it's going to start next year. We're going to upgrade the Pine guitar. That's been a long time coming. There's going to be one special guitar made out of woods or parts and woods that I recently came in possession of. There are going to be 2 signature guitars, one body, just a body that I promised to make a guy. Finishing up the 3 leftover guitars from the batch of 4, and surely forgetting something. There's quite a bit to do, but I'm looking forward to all of it. There's already kind of a good bit of things that have been put into motion that haven't come, full circle yet, which aren't announced yet. So I am keen and interested to see how next year is going to go. But by the looks of it, if everything keeps on going the way it's going, it's going to be one hell of a year. I mean, this year already has been incredible, but we've hit milestones at a pace that even I haven't been able to keep up with and mentally keep up with. It's just like always astonishing me of how quickly things are growing. And I cannot thank anybody else more than every single one of you who is watching my videos, following my socials, or commenting anything at all. If you have passed by, commented, that means a lot to me already. Like the video, that means a lot. Yeah, you guys are awesome, and fortunately now I have a great support network of friends and family who also just are very supportive of what I do, and overall, I'm just thankful for how everything has gone this year and how things are shaping up next year. It's been 10 years in the making to get this far, and I do not regret a single day of it. It's been a journey, and only just getting started. So it's bodes well. But hey, everyone, have a great new year, and hopefully you, me, and everyone else, we can make this upcoming year 2022, or not 2022, I mean 2022. Don't want to repeat of last year or a year that happened in the past. But hopefully the upcoming year will be good for you as well. Stay safe, and yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you with the next video, whenever that comes out and whatever that video is. Cheers.